Grab your passport and pack a bag because it's time to travel the world with Tennis Podcast. Hello, I'm Nick Amell, host of the show, and every week on Tennis Podcast, I welcome on a different sidekick host, either one of our few regulars or an occasional special guest. One of us brings a top 10 list along with fun facts and trivia, and the other does not know the list ahead of time. Together with you, sweet listener, we try to guess the items on the list in real time. My guest sidekick host today is the returning Globetrotter herself, Anna Keller. Anna, how are you?
It's me, the Globetrotter. Hello, hi, I'm doing good.
I'd rather trot some glob than some globe, personally, but that's just me.
I don't know if that sounds easier or harder to trot.
I don't think we're going to find out.
Glob sounds sticky. It seems like it'd be hard.
The globe is way harder than, think how big the globe is. To trot the whole globe?
It's a stickiness versus distance issue is the thing.
You're right. It's not apples to apples. You're right. It's apples to oranges.
Right. It's apples to oranges.
Anna, it's so good to have you back on the show. Thanks for being here. Can you remind the folks at home
Thank you so much for asking me.
Yeah. Can you remind the folks at home in 20 seconds or so who you are and why you're here and any of that?
Why you've asked me to do this today? Yes. Hello.
No. You begged me. You begged me.
I did come crawling. That is true. Okay, yeah. I'll own it. Nick, please let me be on Tennis again.
I'll have to get back to you.
So I am the host of we are currently on a break. We're on a break, but Freudian Sips Pod is the podcast that I host with my dear mother, Bonnie. So we haven't been doing it recently, but we have a big old backlog and lots of good content anyway.
Yes, Freudian Sips, links in the show notes, everyone. Anna has been a regular on this show. She was most recently on episode 20 something, and we talked about mental illness. The top 10 most common mental illnesses. As we've done
a couple times, yes. I feel like we frequently end up talking about mental illnesses. I wonder why.
I have no doubt that although today's topic has nothing to do with mental illness, I have no doubt we will find a way to bring it back to mental illness through our discussion.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Anna, I dropped some pretty heavy hints there at the intro on the arena we're going to be in today.
Yeah, I'm excited to see where we're traveling today.
Before I reveal that, can you tell me, are you a well-traveled person? Do you like to travel? Do you like to take vacations?
Those are two different questions. I do think I'm pretty well-traveled, and travel stresses me out insanely, so I don't do it often, but I have done it in the past. I was very blessed to be able to go to Europe when I was in college. I got to go to a couple of countries in Europe, and this summer, actually, I went to Ireland. So I'm fresh off an international trip, actually, or catching me at a good time.
That's huge. I have not even been to Europe yet, although I'm planning it. But I asked you that because today you are going to guess the top 10 most visited cities by tourists in the world.
In the whole world. Okay.
The most visited cities for tourists. And it's actually specifically international tourists.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So let me read you this thing. It's this is a list of the top 10 cities ranked by the number of international visitors on average per year, including all international arrivals by land, sea, air, and people coming for vacation or business purposes. The data is compiled by Euromonitor. They count a visitor as any person visiting a city in another country for at least 24 hours, but not more than 12 months. And they have to stay in paid or unpaid collective or private accommodation, blah, blah, blah. It's
so
just someone that's
visitors who, they're not living there. Yeah.
They're not living there, correct, yeah. Also incorporated is data from MasterCard's Global Destination City Index. And this data is as of 2023. I think that's it. So my sources are atlas.com, and that's ATLYS.com, travelness.com, wagecenter.com, and Wikipedia. Anna, where are you coming to us from in the world?
I am in good old America. I'm in the Midwest. I'm in Illinois. So I may be well-traveled, but I'm bad at geography and stuff and just knowing city names and stuff. So that might hamper me a bit.
Might hamper you. You might have some dirty clothes flying your way. I get it. But also, I think it's good that you don't know geography because that gives me the opportunity to make fun of you and ridicule you throughout this episode.
That is why you keep asking me back, is so I can be ridiculed, I think.
Yeah.
I'm okay with it.
That's kind of, I tell everyone this is a show about top 10 lists, but really it's just a show about me making fun of whoever's on the other side of the mic.
Who can Nick make fun of this week? Who can Nick con into coming on his show so he can make fun of them?
Yeah. That name's just too long. I couldn't go with that name. Who should Nick con into coming on the show this week? Had to come up with something.
Shortened it to Tennish. Yeah.
So according to the World Tourism Organization, international travel tourism has recovered significantly since the onset of the COVID-19 pandemic, some regions seeing more progress than others. So no surprise, but travel went way down during the pandemic. They say that it dropped up to 95% worldwide in terms of international travel. And that's obvious probably, but you got to think a lot of economies around the world are really dependent on tourism.
Absolutely.
Think about Hawaii, places like that. Took a big hit, but according to projections for 2023, international tourist travel is up to 80% of pre-pandemic levels. So they're still in a recovery mode, 80% to pre-pandemic levels. So we're getting there.
That still sounds low. Like, I mean, you just saying like, yeah, the tourism industry that it is, like, that's a huge hit.
It is. Okay, so you're bad at geography, and that's okay. There are several in this top 10 that, I'm wondering
how many are in America.
But it's the truth.
Yeah.
One city in America. The rest are international.
Oh, that's a problem.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, some of these, even though they're not in America, you'll guess them. All right, Anna, give me a guess. Or you know what? Better yet, tell me a guess for what you think is a pretty sure bet to not be in the top 10.
Not be in the top 10.
Rockford, Illinois?
Dallas, Texas. I was going to say, just like some rinky-dink Illinois town. Mexico, Missouri.
Yeah. Is there really a town called Mexico in Missouri?
There is a Mexico, Missouri.
Wow.
There's a Springfield almost every state. Those probably don't get a lot of international travel.
It's funny. So there's some states like Wisconsin's one where the city names are like so, I'll say, creative. Oklahoma has a lot too. It's because there's a lot of like Native American names that aren't like, they don't roll off the tongue for us Americans. But then you have places like Mexico, Missouri and Paris, Texas,
Paris, Texas, yes.
It's just weird. Yeah. Okay. Dallas is not on the list. There is no Texas on this list.
No Texas. Got it.
Do you think Truth or Consequences, New Mexico is in the top 10?
I want it to be in the top 10 of places I want to go. There's a place called Truth and Consequences that's a city name?
Truth or Consequences, and it's in New Mexico. Yes.
Gosh. Okay. I might have to go. Okay.
Give me a real guess now. Top 10. There's one American city. Everything else is international.
I think that's the one I'm going to go with first. Is it New York?
It's New York City. Has to be.
New York, New York.
New York. Bum bum bana, something dreams are made of. Okay, New York is number 8 on the top 10.
All right.
It is the 8th most visited city in the world based on international travelers. 12.7 million international travelers per year on average. 20.1 million population. So they have over half of their total population in visitors
flowing
from
in
other
and out.
countries.
Yeah.
And that's not including American tourists, too, who are also there all the time. So there's so many people there at all times.
Yeah, wow.
So for each of these cities, I'm going to tell you some of the top attractions there. We got, have you been to New York, Anna?
I have not.
What?
New York? I don't think so. I don't think I have. It's a little too bustling for me. It's stressful.
Too bustling. Well, I'm going to tell you all about it. You don't even have to go by the time I'm done because you'll feel like you've been there.
I'm going to feel like I went. I'm going to feel like I'm there.
That's right. So you got the Empire State Building. You've heard of the Empire State Building, right?
Yeah.
Big, tall building.
Once or
King
twice.
Kong climbed it. I was actually...
claim of fame.
Yeah. I was actually there at the top of the Empire State Building this summer.
When King Kong climbed it? Did you see him?
I was King Kong.
That's how you got to the top.
Okay, so we got the Statue of Liberty. We got Times Square, which, by the way, Tennis Pod regulars might remember from way years ago. We did an episode on the most visited tourist attractions in America. Times Square is number 1. Can you believe that? Times Square. Yeah.
Yeah, that's weird.
More than the Statue of Liberty, more than the Golden State Bridge, more than, I don't know, the White House, pick your tourist attraction. Times Square has more than them.
I guess Times Square, there's a lot on it, though. It's a bigger place. It's not just one thing. Isn't it just like, it's a whole mess of things.
It's just like a neighborhood. It's like a,
it's a place. It's a neighborhood. That's a good way to describe it. It's just like
it's just like a few blocks of, like, if your idea of a vacation is being advertised to on giant screens.
Lots of flashing billboards, sure.
Yeah, then that might be the place for you. Look, I think Times Square, it's the type of thing you only need to do once, right? You don't need to return to it over and over.
It's the type of thing I need to do 0 times.
Yeah.
But sure.
Well, you're a bump on a log, I know. Okay, so fun facts about New York. New York City is the most densely populated major city in the United States. It's twice as populous as the number 2 city, Los Angeles. The city and its metropolitan area are the premier gateway for legal immigration to the United States. And this next one blows my mind. As many as 800 languages are spoken in New York. Motherfucker, I didn't even know there were 800 languages in the history of the world.
That's so many languages. Current languages, 800?
Yes. If you had said, Nick, your family's lives are on the line. If you don't get this right, we're going to push them off this cliff. How many languages are active in the world right now? I would have been like, I don't know, 150? No, 800, Anna.
I was going to say 100 or 200 maybe. That's a lot. And that's only in New York, huh?
Yeah.
That's wild. Is that, that's just like dialects and stuff?
I have to think some of those languages have like a global speaker range of like 7 to 8 people, right? Some of those languages are like a family that talks to each other in a weird way. Like, there's no way that there's 800 languages.
Those 2 creepy twins that have their own language, they're counting that. That's one.
Yeah, that's not fair. Language is a beautiful thing in some ways, by the way. We have done a top 10 most spoken languages episode in the archives.
And you're just scratching the surface if there's 800.
Yeah, we've done 10. We got 700 more to go. That's at least 70 more episodes.
You can do full content on just that.
Oh, God, kill me. What I was going to say is language is a beautiful thing. Some people love to learn languages and all that. But man, how much easier would the world be if we all just spoke the same fucking language? I'm not even saying it has to be English. Just if it's the same language and we all speak it, so many problems are solved.
Take it up with the Tower of Babel, man. I don't know. This is not a problem we can solve right now.
You're right. You're right. To say the least, Anna. No, we're not going to solve this right now. And just to be clear, that was not my intent. My goal in this conversation was not, Anna, you and I are going to solve this problem right now.
This is crack down. We're going to figure it out. This whole language thing?
Yeah. Clear your night. Take the day off from work tomorrow. We need to work on this. We'll have it done by tomorrow, though. Probably.
Yeah.
Close the business. All right. Well, New York is the most linguistically diverse city in the world, and it enforces a right to shelter law guaranteeing shelter to anyone who needs shelter, regardless of their immigration status. And the city is home to more than 3.2 million residents born outside the U.S., which is the largest foreign-born population of any city in the world. So, said another way, there are more non-U.S. I guess the way I said it the first way is the best way. There's more foreign people living in New York than any other city has foreign people.
Oh, yeah, sure.
You see what I mean?
The true melting pot. Yeah.
It's not surprising once you really think about it, but something. Of all the cities in the world, think about Europe. Like, how many different languages are present in Europe? But no, New York has more foreign population than any other city.
Yeah, that is wild. And I wonder how... Is that just because not just because, but is that partially because it is such a huge like tourist destination, because there is so much like flow there where people just kind of end up there and they stay?
Yeah. Well, I think it also is their openness to immigration.
It's just, more of a idea.
In New York, they embrace the diversity. So
we could all learn a thing or two from New York.
Yeah. Less languages. We need fewer languages.
You have to know a lot of languages to learn anything from New York, but you can learn something from it.
So that's New York, the 8th most visited international city in the world. That's it for America. Now, if you're curious, though, I have the top 100. The second most visited U.S. city is all the way at number 28. Wow. What would you guess that city is?
I was going to say like Los Angeles. You mentioned Los Angeles or maybe Chicago.
Los Angeles is number 35. Miami is number 28.
Interesting. Yeah, I was thinking somewhere in Florida because of,
in Orlando
Disney's
is 44.
There and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we have San Francisco at 73 and Honolulu at 82. That's it for the U.S. in the top 100.
Dang.
Yeah.
Poor showing, America. Sure.
Listen. It's Dr. Buster here, and I'm here to rate your 10ish podcast listenership 0 stars out of 5. Now, don't get offended. Don't be affronted. I can tell you why. It's because your lazy ass has yet to rate and review 10ish podcasts on your favorite podcast app. Shame on you, and shame again. Don't worry, though. It's not too late, and it never is. There is still hope for you yet. Your soul can be redeemed. You can go today, right now, this very second, and rate and review us. It takes just a few moments of your time, and it's a huge help to the show. Not only does it provide Nick with useful feedback to clean up his act, which we know will take forever, but it also helps new listeners discover 10ish Podcast. You can rate and review 10ish Pod on Apple Podcasts, Podchaser, Good Pods, or Spotify. If you're listening to my voice now on one of those platforms, just take 2 seconds and go to the main 10ish Podcast page, and near the top, there will be a spot to rate us 5 stars and to write a quick review. We do appreciate your support, and I look forward to re-rating you at 5 out of 5 stars in the near future.
There's one country that has, I think, 3 or 4 cities in the top 10. Countries are only represented once on the list, otherwise.
I think I'm going to go with London, England.
That was a safe guess. You're playing it safe, I see.
I am certainly doing that.
Where do you think London ranks?
4?
You're close. It's 3.
Okay.
Number 3, London. There are 19 million plus international visitors on average per year to London, which is even more than its 14.8 million metropolitan population. So there are more international visitors per year than there are permanent residents of London, England.
Wow.
Have you been to London, Anna?
I have, yes.
You have? Okay. See, you haven't been to New York, but you have been to London, and it's the opposite for
I have
me.
been to London. That was one of the places that I went when I was in college.
Okay. You don't need to fucking brag about it. Learn to take a step back and be a little more humble.
Yes, I do.
Thank you.
Actually, and I'm going to.
So I'm going to tell you some of the top attractions in London, and you can tell me if I'm missing any major ones. So I got Big Ben. I got the London Eye, Buckingham Palace. We have Westminster Abbey. And if you're looking for a more cultural experience, make sure to visit the Royal Opera House. Have you been to any of those?
I drove by Big Ben. We went on like a bus tour. I saw it with my eyeballs.
Wow. Whoa. Anna.
I know. I know.
I'm blown away.
I know. I know. It's strange to be in my presence now that you know that. Yeah, I know.
I will send money to your house if you return an envelope with an autographed picture of Big Ben saying
Big
I
Ben.
was there.
Do I sign it in my name or Big Ben's name? Both. That's going to cost you extra.
Both,
if it's
yeah.
both.
I was going to say.
Okay.
Okay, I'm willing to pay it. London has been a major settlement for 2 millennia. The city of London, its ancient core and financial center, was founded by the Romans as Londinium and retains its medieval boundaries. So the boundaries that the Romans made thousands of years ago, still the boundaries
Those are still in effect?
used in the city today.
Dang.
Is how,
Okay.
that's how I interpret that, yeah. London is the most visited city in Europe and has the busiest city airport in the world. And it also has the oldest rapid transit system in the world, the London Underground.
Oh, yeah.
Anna, I'm sure you know this already, that the city is one of the 4 fashion capitals of the world. And according to official statistics, it is the world's 3rd busiest film production center. It presents more live comedy than any other city, and it has the biggest theater audience of any city in the world, more than even New York.
Wow. And New York is like specifically known for that. Like Broadway's a whole thing.
London has more. So eat that, New York. London has more. London's higher on this list, and it has more people going to theater.
Yeah, but how many languages does it have? Probably not 800.
Well, because 800 is fucking unreasonable. They probably have something
It's too many.
like...
That's because it's too many.
It's too high. And that's just in New York City. All right, I could go on about the languages. I'm going to make myself stop. Not because I don't...
Away.
I'm not still upset about it. I'm still upset about it. I'm just going to choose to move on.
We're just going to be happy.
For the sake of the listeners.
Choose to be happy, compartmentalize.
No.
Yeah.
I never said I was going to be happy. I never made any promises about being happy.
You're right.
In fact, I will not. I doubt I'll be happy on this episode, just so you know.
Okay.
I've never been happy, and I will not start on this episode. I'm quite confident. But I am confident that I will put the language soapbox to the side for the next however many minutes.
Okay. We'll see if you can manage that.
London, you think of London, and you've been there, so you know, but it's this heavily urban city. You know, buildings, skyscrapers everywhere. But it's actually the greenest city in Europe, according to a 2013 report. They have 35,000 acres of public parks, woodlands, and garden, which I would not have predicted.
Wow. No, yeah, it's a city.
Mm-hmm.
It's definitely a city.
Yeah.
So is that like in the city or like around the city? Like London is just like, it kind of goes into countryside, but it's like parks?
All I have is that London is the greenest city in Europe, with 35,000 acres of public parks,
Cool.
woodlands, and garden. Yeah. Okay, so that's London, England at number 3. You have New York at number 8. What do you have left? There's, I think there's one more European city.
Is the one more European city Paris, France?
Well, what else could it be, Anna? Of course it's Paris, France. Now, what number is it?
Number's Paris. 6?
You did say Paris, France, right? Not Paris, Texas?
No,
Paris,
Paris,
France.
Texas is 1.
Yes, right. Spoiler. Paris, France is number 7 on the top 10.
Oh, okay.
It's number 7, 14.4 million visitors internationally every year on average, with 13 million population in the metropolitan area. Have you been to Paris?
Yes, I have.
Okay.
I went to the Louvre. That was really cool.
Making me feel like shit.
Well,
It's on my bucket list.
worth it to be on the bucket list.
So you got the Louvre, you have the Arc de Triomphe, Notre Dame, the Eiffel Tower, some other shit too, probably.
Who cares about the other stuff? It's all about the Eiffel Tower. That's all anyone cares about.
It's funny, my kids they're 9 and 6, they've never been to France, but every frame of reference is the Eiffel Tower. So when I took them to New York this summer, every building is that one taller than the Eiffel Tower? Is the Empire State Building taller than the Eiffel Tower?
That's their like baseline.
Yeah. I'm like, you've never even fucking seen the Eiffel Tower, little shit.
Like you wouldn't know. You wouldn't know if it's taller. You wouldn't be able to tell.
Anna, I guarantee you, if they walked up to the Eiffel Tower, if someone didn't tell them that's the Eiffel Tower, they wouldn't even know.
Oh my God.
So I don't know I don't know where this benchmark came from in their lives, but it has. It's there.
It's a cultural icon, right? Like it's one of those like we feel like we know it even if we haven't ever seen it. And especially because you're 6 and 9.
6 and 9. Too dumb to know any better. Am I right?
I didn't want to say it. I feel like that's rude to say that about people's kids, but kids are dumb. Don't tell your kids I said that, but they are.
Okay, Anna Keller, practicing counselor out of Illinois, United States, calling all children dumb. Got that. Can I quote you on that? Can I buy some billboards in your local area?
Because of the frontal lobe. Do you want me to? I will die on this hill.
You know, you could stop. You don't have to stop at kids. People are stupid. We're dumb.
Yeah. I can't imagine I'm smarter than a 9-year-old.
No. Well, you did go to all that school, I guess.
That means nothing.
Yeah. We'll let the listeners decide. But we know my kids are dumb, and you, listener, your kids are dumb. But what's not dumb are my hashtag Nick's notes about Paris, France. And I'm going to tell you one now, that by the end of the Western Roman Empire, the town was known as Parisius, which I actually like better. It's a Latin name that would later become Paris in French. It reminds me of Perseus, you know?
Yeah. It sounds older, but it's like they were just too lazy to say that extra like couple syllables. Just like, just shorten it. Shorten it to Paris. It's cleaner.
There's a note on a different city later that was exactly that. They hated saying the full name of the town so much that they just shortened it. So, yeah, that's what happened here too. Now, I found a random story about Christianity in Paris. Christianity was introduced in the middle of the 3rd century AD by Saint Denis. Isn't Denis like a weird, old-timey Christian name?
That's a
Like,
strange
Denis
saint name, yes.
Yeah. It feels like a middle-aged balding accountant in like Paris, Texas.
Dennis is just some dude. You tell me he got sainted?
Well, this asshole Dennis, who's a listener of the show, by the way, he was the first bishop of Paris. And according to legend, when he refused to renounce his faith before the Roman occupiers, he was beheaded on the hill, which became known later as Montmartre. That's the name of the hill. And from there, he walked headless to the north of the city.
No.
It did not go into
No, he
detail. I'm
didn't.
guessing that means like he walked a few steps before collapsing. You know?
Yes.
Come
I
on.
just took a stroll. Is that one of his like saint miracles? You need like a certain number of miracles to be a saint. His miracle was he walked like 5 blocks. I'm not even kidding.
Well, if that happened, maybe I would become religious because that shit ain't that did not
I'm
happen.
a convert.
Yeah, show me the miracle like that, and you got me. Like, no argument anymore. So this asshole walks headless for a few steps, and then where he finally collapsed, that's where he was buried. And that's an important religious shrine, and many French kings are buried there.
Wow. When I die, I want people to just bury me where I drop. I think that's a good practice.
Do you also want to be beheaded so you can walk like maybe a step or two before collapsing?
I want to be beheaded just so I see how far I can get before I drop.
But you wouldn't see. You'd be beheaded.
I would see. My head would be right there. I assume they wouldn't take it away that fast.
I wonder how long, like, does your... If you're beheaded, stupid question time. If you're beheaded, does your brain stay active long enough for your eyes to register for like even half a second? Or is it like instant that you die?
There's definitely been like people who have done that who have recorded like, oh, they kept blinking or whatever this many seconds after they were beheaded. But there's got to be like some residual like blood flow to the brain, I assume, for at least a second or two.
I like the idea of, obviously, in those observations you cited where like, oh, they kept blinking for a few seconds. We all assume that happened after someone was violently beheaded unnecessarily, but I like the idea better if these scientists are bringing in innocent people for like a lab experiment, and they're like, this will be quick, you guys will be out of here in no time with your $100, and they actually just behead them right there just to see how long they keep blinking.
It is for science, so please lay down under this guillotine. It is for science.
Okay, well, they said I'll get $100, so sure. Yeah.
Weirder things have happened in science for people just getting paid for their time, so.
No shit. And for more on that, listen to the episode Anna and me did on the...
Oh, yeah, we did one of those too. Weird experiment ones, yeah.
Weird experiments, yeah. Okay, so since the 17th century, Paris has been one of the world's major centers for finance, diplomacy, commerce, culture, fashion, and many other areas. Paris is especially known for its museums and architectural landmarks. The Louvre received 7.8 million visitors in 2022, keeping its position as the most visited art museum in the world. There were more visitors to the Louvre in 2022 alone than there is population in any U.S. city besides New York. So.
Huh. Wow.
What else you got? That's it for Paris.
Okay.
That's it for Europe.
And that's it for Europe? Okay. It's going to be a problem.
Yeah. You got a lot of Asia.
A lot of Asia. Okay.
Take off your America goggles for a second, Anna.
Yeah. Beijing?
Beijing's a great guess, but it is not in the top 10.
Okay. Oh, it's anything in Tokyo. Kyoto? Is that in Tokyo? I remember it because they're very similar words.
Is there anything in Tokyo? Is that what you just said? Because Tokyo is a city.
No. Tokyo is a city? Kyoto.
Tokyo
See, this
is a
is what
city
I'm
in
talking
Japan.
about. Japan, that's right. Okay, my guess is Tokyo. I'm telling you, dude, this is going to be rough.
Tokyo, Anna, also known as the largest city in the world in Japan, is actually not in the top 10. It's number 17.
Really? Dang.
Yeah. And there are no Japanese cities in the top 10.
Like I could have given you any other Japanese city name. That wasn't going to happen.
No.
This is going to be a problem. I might need a hint.
Okay, let me steer you.
Okay.
Do you want to be steered? I'm going to steer you.
I do. I do very much, yes.
Have you heard that joke? Maybe this is a boy joke, but have you heard that joke in elementary school where someone walks up to you? Yeah, you probably wouldn't have heard this. Anyway, someone walked up to me and said, hey, what's the capital of this country? Well, I'll just tell you. What's the capital of Thailand?
Oh.
And you say, I don't know. And then he whacks you in the balls and he says, Bangkok. Which I just gave it to you. Bangkok, number
good.
2.
Bangkok, okay. 2? Okay.
Yeah.
Wow, really? Bangkok is number 2? Okay.
Yeah. You gonna act surprised as if you knew of any other cities?
I am going to act surprised. Yeah. Well, I'm surprised that it's number 2 when the ones that I knew weren't.
Like I said, we gotta take off these Western world goggles we're all blinded with. Me included. Bangkok is number 2 with 21 million visitors. For context, New York City had 12 million at number 8. So this is number 2 with 21 million. 14.6 million population in the metropolitan. Some top attractions here are the Grand Palace, Wat Arun, a beautiful temple. The Temple of the Golden Buddha. Wat Sathat, a must-visit temple. And Damnon Sadok, floating market where you can shop by boat, Anna.
Ooh, that sounds cool.
Okay, so you're warming up to this being number 2. Great.
Yeah. Okay, I'm in. Let's go to Bangkok. Let's go.
Let me tell you more.
Okay.
The Asian investment boom in the 1980s and 1990s led many multinational corporations to relocate their regional headquarters to Bangkok. So it's now a regional force in finance, business, and pop culture. Bangkok's rapid city growth coupled with little urban planning has resulted in a haphazard cityscape and inadequate infrastructure. Despite an extensive expressway network, an inadequate road network, and substantial private car usage have led to chronic and crippling traffic congestion, which caused severe air pollution in the 90s, and the city has since turned to public transport in an attempt to solve the problem, operating 8 urban rail lines and building other public transit, but congestion still remains a prevalent issue. It's known as one of the most traffic congested cities in the world.
Wow. I mean, I'm impressed that they tried to address the issue. That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. Let's try to get some more public transit up in here.
But it brings light to this issue that's some of these cities, they boom relatively overnight, and they're not prepared for it. And so now you have millions of people living on top of each other and not enough roadway for the amount of cars there. It's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so what I mentioned earlier, I think it was with Paris, where I said that they had a name so long they just started cutting it. They just started trimming it up.
That's this?
This is crazy. Okay, so today the city is known in Thai. So this is in Thai language. They call it Krong Thep Maha Nakhon, or simply Krong Thep for short, which is a ceremonial name which came into use during the reign of King Mongkut. The full name. This is the full name of the city up until I don't know when, but this at one time was the full name. I'm going to try to read it. This is in Thai, which, if you didn't know, listeners, is not my native tongue. So I'm going to butcher this very badly, and I mean no offense.
You're going to do great.
Here it goes. This is really long, so settle in.
Okay.
Krong Thep Manakon, Amarakatsa Kosin, Mahantawathawatia, Madalakopap, Nofrata Krachubria Broim, Udom Rachkon, I'm halfway done. Udom Rachoni Watmasa Satan, Amanipi Monasa, this is brutal, I'm sorry. Watan Daset, Sakai Hod, I'm just going to stop. I'm sorry. The name.
That's a whole paragraph. Not a city name, that's a paragraph. It's a chapter in a chapter book.
It's 168 characters long. It holds the Guinness World Records for the longest name of a place.
Wow.
So, Anna,
is that in any official capacity? Is that still the name, or has it just been shortened?
I'm not 100%, but I think that it's no longer the official name. It was at one time. Now the city, in fact, it says here, the city is now officially known in Thai by the shortened name I read earlier, which is Krong Thep Maha Nakhon, which is colloquially further shortened to Krong Thep, which means City of Gods. So that big long thing I read earlier, it translates to City of Angels, Great City of Immortals, Magnificent City of the Nine Gems, Seat of the King, City of Royal Palaces, Home of Gods Incarnate, erected by Vishwakarma at Indra's behest.
It's a pretty badass city name, I will give them that. It's kind of got the Khaleesi treatment from Game of Thrones, where you just keep adding on titles. Yeah.
Yeah, that is small dick energy big time for a city. They have, they got to just make sure everyone knows.
Why it's such a good city in the name.
That just City of Angels, Great City of Immortals, Magnificent City of the Nine Gems, Seat of the King, City of... So where are you from, Anna? You from this part of the world? You from...
Yeah, I'm from the City of Angels, the gem of the whatever, yeah, the... They're like, oh God. Because, as soon as, people know that name, right? So as soon as people start saying it, they're like, oh God, I'm going to be here for a while. Uh-oh.
They go and do some household chores and come back and you're still finishing up the name.
Okay, they set down the phone. They answer their mail. You're still talking.
So that's Thailand. Can't imagine why anyone wouldn't want to visit there. It's the second most visited international city in the world. Okay, so I can tell it's clear you're going to struggle.
Oh, I actually do have one more. I don't think it's going to be on the list, but Madrid?
Oh, great guess. And that is in Europe, though. And if you were listening carefully earlier,
I wasn't.
I did say there's no more Europe.
Okay.
2 of these cities are in China. China.
Uh,
And it's not Beijing. What's the other big city in China? Where's Jackie Chan from?
I don't know that.
Anna Keller.
I'm really bad at this, man.
Who climbed the Empire State Building? Remember I told you that?
Mm-hmm.
Who was that?
King Kong. It's King Kong.
King Kong. And what is a city that sounds like King Kong?
Oh, Hong Kong?
Hong Kong. Anna Keller. Hong Kong is...
I knew that one. Yeah.
It's actually number 1. Well, I don't know why I gave it to you now, but it's number 1. Hong Kong. Just under 27 million international visitors per year.
Wow.
And get this, estimates show that they expect this to grow to 43 million by 2025. That's almost doubling by 2025 in international visitors. And it's crazy because there's only 7 million, quote unquote, only 7 million residents that live there permanently, but it's only an 1,100 square kilometer or 426 square mile territory. It's the most densely populated territory in the world.
Wow.
People are literally living on top of each other. I saw this thing on a TikTok the other day. I forget what they call them, but they're like closet apartments or something.
Oh, like coffin apartments. I just saw that too. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. So it's probably going viral on TikTok. It's basically, if anyone hasn't seen it, it's like your apartment is a bed and that's it. Like there's enough space for a bed.
It's a room where you can like fit a bed and like maybe a foot at the bottom of the bed, but that's the whole room, the whole apartment.
Yeah. And so like your kitchen and your bathroom is like a communal shared spaces in the building. But like as for your apartment, your private area, you got a bed.
Well, it's like those pods. I think those are like, maybe in America, maybe they're not becoming like popular or something, but like those pod kind of apartments where everything besides your actual room is just communal.
Yeah. I mean, that's basically what it is, which probably going to become more popular in America too, considering like the housing. I don't know if we call it a crisis or what, but like how no one can afford to live anywhere anymore.
I would certainly call it a crisis. Yes, I know a lot of people who would call it a crisis.
Yeah. Whiners. Am I right? No, it is a crisis.
Pull you up by your bootstraps. That's what I say.
That's right. Damn. Preaching it. Just goddamn. Pull yourselves up from your bootstraps, people. We are totally kidding. So Hong Kong is the #1 tourist city in the world. Top attractions there are the Victoria Peak, which offers stunning views of the city's skyline, the Big Buddha and Po Lin Monastery, Hong Kong Disneyland, which is Disneyland in Hong Kong, and the Avenue of Stars, featuring statues and handprints of famous Hong Kong actors, including listener of the show, Jackie Chan.
Oh, that's cool. They're on a little walk of fame.
Have you been to Asia at all? Because I have not.
No, I have not. Mm-mm.
Yeah. I hope to go someday. Let me tell you some more about Hong Kong. It was originally a sparsely populated area of farming and fishing villages. The territory is now one of the world's most significant financial centers and commercial ports. Hong Kong is the world's 4th-ranked global financial center, the 9th largest exporter in the world, and the 8th largest importer.
Wow.
You'll be happy to know it's also home to the 2nd highest number of billionaires of any city in the world.
So that'll be the second place that we need to burn down when the revolution happens. Good, good.
Yes. You didn't hear it here, though. You didn't hear it here.
No organizing, don't worry.
It also has the highest concentration of ultra-high net worth individuals, whatever that means. I don't know.
Is that not just billionaires? Is that a separate demographic?
Anna, I can't know everything. I know a lot, but I can't know everything. I don't know.
The limitations of Nick's notes, I guess. Sure.
Hashtag Nick's notes, I think you meant. But basically, the bottom line is rich people love Hong Kong, and poor people more and more can't afford to live in anything but a coffin apartment.
Gross. Makes it sound like I really want to visit there.
Well, maybe this will change your mind, because Hong Kong has the largest number of skyscrapers of any city, more than even New York. It has 482 towers taller than 150 meters, or 490 feet.
Yeah, that's
change your mind?
No, that is the reason I don't want to go to New York. That is the reason I have panic when I go to even Chicago. So no thank you. Yeah. I know.
Well, maybe this will change your mind, you fucking sourpuss. Hong Kong is a highly developed territory and has a Human Development Index of 0.95, which ranks it 4th in the world. So it has the 4th highest quality of life of any city in the world. And it has the 2nd highest life expectancy in the world.
That's interesting.
So now what do you have to say?
Well,
You still going to be a hater?
I'm going to be a confuser because what about the coffin apartments? What does that do for your life expectancy?
Well, they probably
what does that do for the Human Development Index?
Yeah, you're right. That's a good question. But see, that's if you're asking the poor people. They probably ask the rich billionaires.
Yeah, it's 0.95 for the billionaires who live there.
That's all we care about.
Oh.
And if any billionaires out there are listening, you should take some of that money, just a really, really tiny amount of that money, and subscribe to 10ish Pod Plus, because if you do that, you will listen to our newest bonus episode that just dropped last week. It's actually something that is not related to high quality of life and long life expectancy, because it's related to death. It's about the things in your house that are trying to murder you. Anna, things in your house right now, appliances, funguses, dryer lint, they all want you dead. And me and a true crime podcaster, Lindsay Valenti, we cover the top 10 ways that you can die in your own house. Top 10 ways that your household is trying to kill you.
Good.
It's available right now for 10ish Pod Plus members. You can listen now at 10ishpod.com/plus or on the Apple Podcast app. Comes with a 7-day free trial. You should go listen to it.
Oh, exciting.
Billionaires of Hong Kong and otherwise.
I need more reasons to be scared in my own home. So I will be listening to that.
Mm-hmm. You're scared to go to Chicago? Well, don't worry. I'm going to make you scared of your own home next.
It's like now you have to go to Chicago because your own home isn't safe.
Yeah. I swear to God, I did that episode with Lindsay, my sidekick host for that. And by the time the episode was over and we stopped hitting record, we both said, okay, we got to go check like 10 things in our house.
Yeah, really. Got to go check all my appliances. Got to see.
Like one of them was dryer lint. One of them was dryer lint.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, that's a huge problem.
Yeah. I went and checked my dryer lint. So yeah. Okay. We don't care about that though, because we care about Anna guessing something else in the top 10. What's the other China city you're missing?
Oh, I can think of like landmarks, like people, like where's the Taj Mahal? What city is the Taj Mahal in?
That's not China. That would be,
I know,
I believe that's India.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay,
is that on
you do know. India is, I think it's Delhi, India. It might not be that, but that's number 12 is Delhi, India.
Okay.
So not in the top 10. In fact, in the top 10, there are no cities, these surprise me, nothing from Canada, nothing from Australia, nothing from Africa, nothing from Germany, nothing from Russia.
Russia doesn't surprise me.
I
don't think that's a big tourist destination right now.
Not in 2023. No, ma'am.
No.
But there's other like dictator-controlled countries that are on here, like Turkey. Istanbul, Turkey is number 11.
That's fair.
All right, so
I don't know the other China one.
It's Shenzhen, China, number 9.
Never would have gotten it in a million years.
You would, in a million years, Anna, come on. Maybe like 500,000 years. Probably could have got it.
That's giving me a lot of credit.
All right, Shenzhen, China, number 9. 12.6 million international visitors on average per year, but 23 million population in the metro. I think that might be number 1 on population on this list, I think. It's located in the southern part of China and acts as a kind of bridge between mainland China and Hong Kong. Hong Kong's actually considered like its own, I don't want to call it a country, but it's like separate from China. It's a part of China, but it's separate as well. Anyway, Shenzhen is a bridge between it and mainland China. This area has seen human activity for more than 6,700 years. Modern Shenzhen, though, was established about 600 years ago, which is more than like any American city, for example.
Oh, it's more than it's more than like Europe, and I think Europe is old.
Europe is old. America's so young, really, in the grand scheme.
Oh, we're babies. We're little babies.
We're babies. Yes. We'll see if we can make it.
That's why we're so dumb. We're babies. We're just babies. Sorry. That's why Americans are dumb.
Americans. It's funny how Americans, like, we became like the superpower country in the world in such a small amount of time, and then we
Wunderkind.
I don't know how we did that. Yeah. Well, I'll tell you how we did it. It's by fucking killing people in wars. Anyway, okay, so due to the city's wide renown as a leading global technology hub, Shenzhen is commonly known as China's Silicon Valley.
Wow.
It is the 7th most Fortune Global 500 headquarters of any city in the world, the 5th highest number of billionaires. Remember, Hong Kong was number 2.
Okay.
And it has the 2nd largest number of skyscrapers in the world. And Anna, you will be thrilled to know that it had the first McDonald's restaurant of any Chinese city opened in Shenzhen in 1990, year of our Lord.
That is a claim to fame. Interesting.
Yeah. So now...
And now it's a skyscraper. Now there's just like 20 floors of McDonald's.
Yeah, you can still get your chicken McNuggets even when you go to China.
That's good.
All right, let's do a quick recap. You're missing 10. Number 9 is Shenzhen, China. Number 8 is New York City. 7 is Paris, France. You're missing 6, 5, and 4. 3 is London. 2 is Bangkok. And 1 is Hong Kong. And I'm going to help you out here because I'm going to try to inspire you now with some listener feedback. I asked my followers on Twitter and Instagram. You can follow me at @TheNickAmel. I asked them, what is your number 1 bucket list city in the world? So maybe this will kind of spark some inspiration for you.
Okay.
So Lindsay, which is the true crime podcaster I did that bonus episode with, she said on Twitter that hers is Tokyo, which you already incorrectly guessed, and I think you thought was a country at one point.
Thank you, Lindsay.
Paul, a listener on Instagram he lives in Australia, he said, oh God, I might be butchering this name, Bucharest. Or Bucharest? Do you know this city?
Yes. I mean,
where's that?
I don't know where it is. I don't know.
Oh, okay. All right. Thanks for nothing. I'm going to guess maybe Europe.
You're the one that had these cities beforehand, dude.
Shh. But I thought
for me.
You have a master's degree and you're supposed to be smart and you're supposed to come here and you're supposed to be the smart one on the show. That's why I bring other people on.
About the brain that you wouldn't even know. But countries outside of my brain? I don't know those.
Brains came up with the names of those countries, Anna. Listen, I have sidekicks on to be smart. I'm the mean one that makes fun of people. You are the one that comes and corrects me on my pronunciation.
Well, can I just come and be dumb but nice? I'll be nice.
No.
Oh, okay. I'm fired.
All right. My lawyers will get in touch. Let's finish this episode first, though, before you're fired. Paul, who wants to go to Bucharest, he says they have Dracula there and creepy castles. So I think that might be Europe. Next is Jay Hall on Twitter, who said, Reykjavik. I've dreamed of going to Iceland for decades because I'm fascinated by the culture and by the natural beauty of the country. Iceland. Have you been to Iceland, Anna?
I've not, but I do think they have some pretty stuff.
Pretty stuff, yep. Irving on Instagram mentioned London, England. Your old pal Steve on Instagram, he mentioned Cairo, Egypt. They got a KFC by the pyramids, bruh, he said, which is true. If you've ever seen like famous pictures of the pyramids, like if the camera were to shift like 3 inches to the left, you'd see a KFC in the background.
Yeah, it's like I think people think of the pyramids as being very far away from like they're just kind of in the middle of the nowhere. They're like right up against Cairo.
Yeah. See, you know stuff. You knew that.
Sure. Is Cairo on the list?
Nope.
Back to knowing nothing.
Shelly on Instagram says, Krakow, or is it Krakow? Krakow? Krakow?
Krakow?
Do you know this? Krakow? Mm-hmm. She wants to go there for the medieval architecture. And then Kent on Instagram, I hope jokingly said Dallas, Texas. For his bucket list.
It depends on where he's from. He's from Austin.
Wasn't Dallas your first guess for like the not on the top 10 list today?
I was. Sorry, man.
Kent, go ahead and fucking unsubscribe from the show. Okay, so none of those are on the top 10.
Okay.
You just need 3 more, and they were none of those that I just read. Actually need 4 more.
Thanks for all the help, then.
Okay, listen, you're not going to get this one. I'm going to tell you. Number 5, and again, I might be pronouncing this wrong. I apologize if so, but I'm going to say it how it's spelled, and that's Macau, or is it Macau? It's Chinese. It's Macau. Do you know this?
No.
Macau.
Macau?
I don't know. I'm sorry. I don't know. I'm a stupid American Oklahoman. It's Macau. Macau. It's number 5. It's not part of China, but it's like a Chinese territory. 15 million international visitors. So you can go there to see the ruins of St. Paul. St. Paul's a good saint name, not like St. Dennis, the accountant
Dennis.
from...
Cruel.
The ruins of St. Paul are there. You can also see the Macau Tower, offering breathtaking views of the city. You can see the Ama Temple, one of the oldest and most revered Taoist temples in the world. Some other facts about the city is that with a permanent residency population of about 680,000, so really small.
Wow,
And
that's
it's only
not a lot.
12.7 square miles. Yeah,
Yeah.
It's by far the smallest on this list. But because in such a small area, 12 square miles, it is the most densely populated region in the world. The colony was actually under Portuguese rule until 1999, when it was then transferred to China. So because of that, there's a huge mix of cultures between Portuguese and Chinese cultures there.
Oh, cool.
It was originally a sparsely populated collection of coastal islands, but is now referred to as the Las Vegas of the East, and it has become a major resort city and a top destination for gambling. In fact, the gambling industry is 7 times larger there than that of Las Vegas.
Whoa.
Everyone thinks of Las Vegas as the gambling city, but it's actually Macau, China, 7 times larger there. And it has a very high human development index, the 4th highest life expectancy in the world. So this seems like a sleeper city that we should all be visiting.
I was going to say, I'm surprised I haven't even heard of this guy.
Mm-hmm. Number 5.
Okay.
Now you know for your next trip abroad. We're out of China now. You have 2 Asian cities and 1 Middle Eastern city. I think you could guess the Middle Eastern if you thought about it.
Yeah, probably. Give me the country? Is that too much?
United Arab Emirates.
Didn't help me as much as I thought it would. What is it? What's the Middle Eastern one?
It's Dubai, number 6.
Ah, I probably could have gotten it. Yeah.
All right. So number 6, 15 million international visitors. It was established officially as modern day Dubai was established in the 19th century as a small fishing village, but it grew into a regional trading hub in the early 20th century and grew rapidly in the late 20th century and early 21st centuries with a focus on tourism and luxury. It has the 2nd most 5-star hotels of any city in the world, and it boasts the tallest building in the world, the Burj Khalifa, which is 828 meters or 2,700 feet tall.
You should tell that to your kids. Next time they're like, oh, is that taller than the Eiffel Tower? You're like, it's not even close to the tallest. Here's the tallest.
I guarantee to you. I'd take these kids, I'd say, kids, we're going on a vacation. Pack your bags, grab your shit, grab your stuffy. We're getting on a plane and we're going to Dubai. And they say, why? What's there? And I'll say, it's the tallest building in the world. They'll go, whoa! And we'll get there and they'll look up at it and be like, it's not that tall. It's not as tall as I thought. Is it as tall as the Eiffel Tower? Fucking
Are you sure it's not as tall as...
Could promise you that.
Oh.
All right, well, there's other shit to do there too, and because of the touristic approach of many people in Dubai and the entrepreneurial sector and the high standard of living, Dubai's culture has gradually evolved towards one of luxury and lavishness with a high regard for leisure-related extravagance.
Now that I have heard the name of the city, that does strike me as like that's one of those high-end destinations. Dubai, going to Dubai if you're really upscale.
Yeah, and this will further solidify that fact. Annual entertainment events such as the Dubai Shopping Festival and the Dubai Summer Surprise attract over 4 million visitors from across the region and generate shopping revenue in excess of $2.7 billion.
Wow.
Last thing on Dubai is it's known for its nightlife. Clubs and bars are found mostly in hotels, though, because of liquor laws. And the New York Times described Dubai as, quote, the kind of city you might run into Michael Jordan at the Buddha Bar or stumble across Naomi Campbell celebrating her birthday with a multi-day bash. So I guess it's a party city.
Oh, so it's a big celebrity destination. Okay.
Yeah. So naturally, I have a few houses there.
Right. You're one of the billionaires that live in all these cities. You are on every single list.
Yes, because of listeners like you subscribing to TennishPod Plus at TennishPod.com/PLUS.
You are funding Nick's Dubai home.
One of many Dubai homes.
One of many.
What's another Asian city? Okay, this is a city that's like also a country. It's like a city-state, they call it. Starts with an S.
Shanghai?
No.
Singapore?
Singapore. Good job, Anna. I'm impressed that you knew that all by yourself. It's number 4.
Singapore. Singapore is number 4.
Sing me more about Singapore. Well, okay, I will. It's the number 4 city on this list with 16.6 million international visitors per year on average. And despite having a population of under 5.9 million people, which is small relative to this list, Singapore welcomes over 16 million visitors each year, 3 times the number of locals. So some top attractions there are the Gardens by the Bay, a stunning horticultural wonderland featuring futuristic super trees and flower domes. That sounds cool.
Yeah.
There's
that
also
sounds
the
cool.
yeah.
Flower domes.
I want to go to Singapore. Flower domes, super trees. Maybe if New York City stopped focusing so much on having 12 billion languages present, they could focus instead on having flower domes.
Yeah.
Think about a dome over Central Park. That'd be cool.
Yeah, you don't need so many languages. You just need super trees.
Super tree? I don't even know what the fuck is a super
What
tree.
does that mean?
What is a super tree?
Just a big old tree? It's a really big tree.
A single phylogenetic tree assembled from a combination of smaller phylogenetic genetic trees.
It is.
Which may have
It's
been
like a
assembled using
Franken-tree? Whoa.
They also have Sentosa Island, a resort island with theme parks and beaches and shit. And they have the Merlion, a mythical creature and national icon that spouts water from its mouth. I guess it's like a statue, probably.
No, it's a real creature. He just kind of lives
I'd be
there.
okay with that. Yeah, like the Loch Ness Monster.
Yeah.
Okay, so during World War II, Singapore was occupied by Japan in 1942, but returned to British control as a separate crown colony following Japan's surrender in 1945. Singapore gained self-governance in 1959, and in 1963 became part of the new Federation of Malaysia. Malaysia, Anna. Malaysia. I want you to embed that word Malaysia into your brain because it might come back later on another guess, maybe. Malaysia.
Okay, got it. It's in
Okay.
my brain.
Singapore has the second highest population density of any country in the world, although there are numerous green and recreational spaces as a result of urban planning. And speaking of languages, Singapore has 4 official ones: English, Malay, Mandarin, and Tamil.
Wow.
There you go,
I'm
Singapore.
always surprised how many languages or how many places English shows up in, but I guess that does kind of go back to the colonialism thing that we talked about earlier. So
I read that English is the most spoken language in the world, but it's often a second language, though. It's not the most spoken first language.
Right.
Because people learn it in other countries.
Huh.
Mm-hmm. Which is one thing I hate about America, that there's not as much of a priority on learning the cultures and languages of other places.
Right.
Almost any other country in the world, they learn multiple languages throughout school. And
Which is very
dumb old
good for
America-
brain development. Like, we should definitely do that.
Yeah. But America, it's been this propaganda throughout the last few hundred years that, like, number one, America's number one, and you don't need to know about anything else. They need to know about us. It's not important for us to learn about them.
What's wild to me is it extends to when Americans go to other places. Like, okay, fine. If you want to be like, you're in America, speak American, that's fine. But people like go to other places and expect English to be spoken. I think that's why it has to be spoken so many places.
A tourist goes there and they get frustrated that they can't read a menu because it's not in English. Right.
Yeah.
But that's their culture. Just like if a boomer was sitting in a restaurant in America and some foreign person came in that didn't speak English, that boomer would roll their eyes and be like, you're in America, bub, learn to speak American, which is fucking stupid. But that's why...
Not all boomers. Hashtag not all boomers. My mom's a boomer. Be careful.
Bonnie is a badass boomer, but she's in a minority, I'd say.
She's a badass boomer.
At least the boomers in my life. Yeah. Hashtag badass boomer. Anyway, where were we going with that?
She's going to love that. She's going to want that on a t-shirt. You're going to create a monster.
I miss Bonnie. I don't get my Bonnie fix anymore now that you guys are on break for this podcast.
That's true.
Yeah.
I'm going to send her on here next time if you're going to ask me more geography shit.
Bonnie, slide into my DMs. I miss you. Okay. You need number 10. And do you remember that word I kept saying over and over? I wanted you to put it in your brain.
Magical? Is it macaw? Is it Malaysia?
You're starting to make me upset. It's Malaysia. Number 10. Do you know of a city in Malaysia? Malaysia's the country. Do you know the city? Probably don't. Okay, I'm going to tell you.
Okay.
Again, I'm probably mispronouncing this. It is spelled Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia.
Oh,
it is number 10.
I have vaguely heard that. Yes, sure. Kuala
Okay,
Lumpur.
you dumb American.
Mm-hmm.
12 million international visitors, 7.6 million population in the metro. Top attractions there are its Well, it says, thanks to its multicultural mix of Malay, Chinese, and Indian community, the city is home to mosques and temples that stand out from gleaming skyscrapers. I like that when cities have like this modern, futuristic skyscrapers mixed in with like really old historical structures and temples.
Like old
and
architecture.
Like
that is pretty cool.
Mm-hmm. There's a lot of that in Asia.
Mm-hmm.
This celebration of historical and modern also shows itself in the contrasting high-fashion shopping malls and vibrant street markets. The city houses 3 of the world's top 10 largest shopping malls.
Wow.
Maybe
Wow.
that's a Tennis Pod episode for the future.
Yeah. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so they like to shop there. It was first developed around 1857 as a town serving the tin mines of the region, but today it is the fastest growing city in Asia and the capital of Malaysia. And it has undergone rapid development in recent decades and is home to the tallest twin buildings in the world, the Petronas Towers, which have since become an iconic symbol of Malaysian development. Remember, the tallest building is in, where did I say that was? Was that Bangkok, maybe?
Dubai? Macau? Whatever that one was.
I can't find it right now, but yeah, one of these other cities had the tallest building, but this has the tallest twin tower.
2 buildings. Okay.
Yeah. So, Anna, we did it. Before I go back through the top 10, I'm going to start back at number 20, okay?
Oh, okay.
So some of these you didn't guess. Mecca, Saudi Arabia. Obviously, that's huge because Mecca, that's where all the Islamic people go.
Yeah, you can't have to do it. Sure.
Yeah. Okay, we got Taipei, Taiwan at 19. Pattaya, Thailand at 18. Tokyo, Japan at 17. Anna, where was your guess for Rome, Italy at number 16?
I'm actually surprised that one was not on my top 10. I later on top 10, I had that listed on my like go-to guesses.
Mm-hmm. Rome is number 1 on my personal bucket list, and I'm planning to go in 2024.
Ooh, exciting. That'll be fun.
Yeah. Have you been?
I have not. That's probably on my bucket list as well.
Tell you what, go in 2024. We'll meet up there at the Coliseum. We'll do a live podcast recording at the Coliseum.
We'll fight to the death for the viewers' entertainment.
Tell you what, I'll bring Dr. Buster, Brad Choma. No one will miss them. They can fight to the death there.
Okay.
You and I will do a live.
Yes.
Yeah, we'll do a commentary.
Okay.
We'll be the announcers.
Deal. I like that better.
All right. 15 was Phuket, Thailand. Spelled
Phuket, Thailand.
Phuket. Phuket, yep. 14, Mumbai, India. That might be where the Taj Mahal is. I don't know. 13 is Antalya, Turkey. 12 is Delhi, India. 11, Istanbul. So now let's go back to the top 10. You got the Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia, the last one we talked about. Number 9 is Shenzhen, China. 8 is New York, New York. 7 is Paris, France. 6 is Dubai. 5 is Macau. I know I'm saying that wrong. I have to be, but Macau. 4 is Singapore. 3 is London, England. 2 is Bangkok, Thailand. And number 1, Hong Kong.
All right. Good job, Hong Kong. I am very surprised by how many of these cities have like a crazy amount more of like visitors than people who live there. That's wild to think about.
What was that one? It was Macau, which is number 5. Let me find it. They
It's
have
like-
a population
Like less than 1 million, right?
680,000, but they have 15 million visitors per year. That's insane.
Yeah.
And that's the one that has 7 times the gambling industry size than even Las Vegas. So of all these cities that we talked about, what is the one that you're most intrigued by that you have not been to yet?
I like the super trees and the flower domes. That sounds rad. I think I want to go there.
Yeah, where the
Is
fuck
that
was
Singapore?
That was Singapore, yes, at number 4. Singapore, I'm with you. I'm very interested in Singapore, and I want to go to Bangkok, Thailand, too, just so I can walk up to someone and say, hi,
Do the joke.
I'm thrilled to visit Krung Theme Park, blah, 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 which translates to the City of Angels, Great City of Immortals, Magnificent City of the Nine Gems, Seat of the King, City of the Royal Palaces, Home of Gods Incarnate, erected by Vishkamakan at Indra's behest.
You just like spend the entire plane trip like memorizing it so you can just do it off the dome.
Yeah, off the dome. Listen to you. I like the idea, too, of whenever you would normally use the word Bangkok, instead, I say that. So it's always replaced. So, yeah.
You just got to work it in.
That's what she said. And Anna, speaking of that's what she said, again, you are she and you are here, and I thank you for being here. I hope everyone will go listen to Anna's podcast with her mom, Bonnie, Badass Boomer, Freudian
Badass
slips.
boomer Bonnie.
Anna, any parting words for our listeners? Any tourist advice? Any travel tips? Come on, give us something.
Ooh, travel tips. Yeah. Do it, I guess.
Wow.
Like, I think travel is so important just for, I think even if you're not big international traveler, just go have experiences and do things. It's going to be stressful, but it's going to be worth it because it's very good for like opening your mind and expanding your mental portfolio.
Absolutely. One reason that we like to travel with our kids so much is so that because we live in stupid-ass redneck Oklahoma, we like to get them outside and experience other cultures, bring some diversity to their life. So yeah, I think traveling is really important. It doesn't have to be a big city. You can be scared of buildings like Anna and go somewhere else. There's plenty
There are
of
lots of
places
places that don't have big buildings, I promise.
Yeah, probably more so than the other way around. All right. Well, she's Anna. I'm Nick. If you enjoyed this podcast, I would love for you to rate us 5 stars and leave a review on whatever podcast app you're listening to. I would also love if you come back and listen to me again next week for episode number 235, which will be with my friend Stephen Clark. He'll be returning to the show with a list that I'll guess. Until then, what did we say at the beginning? You're not a globetrotter, you're a globetrotter. I invite you to globetrot along with me and Anna around the world.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.